This is Countdown to Economic Collapse, January 1st, 2012. I'm David John Sponheim, running for president for America's Third Party. This past week, we've seen a serious situation with the euro. The European Central Bank has offered out 486 billion euros to 16 major countries that are ailing in this debt crisis that's currently hitting the fan, and we are potentially going to be involved. Our Federal Reserve has essentially become inextricably involved in this bailout of countries that can't seem to get their budget under control. Countries like Greece and Italy and Spain. And to make matters worse, Barack Obama is now saber-rattling and claiming that he's going to have an oil embargo and greater economic sanctions against Iran. Well, guess what? Iran sells oil to countries like Italy, Portugal, and Spain, and Greece. We've got a problem. We've got a president who doesn't know what he's doing. He's stimulating a world crisis. The Arab Spring, many people in Egypt are realizing, was started by non-profit groups. Many people in Egypt are wondering what is happening to their country. Military takeover, delayed elections. All of this is leading to a general panic in the Middle East. And our country and the propaganda machine that seems to wave the fan of fomenting aggression around the world, our propaganda machine we call the media, is claiming that President Assad is a terrible person, and they're eventually going to get the American people to believe that we need to fight a war in Syria, or perhaps in Iran, or perhaps in Pakistan. You see what's happening? Barack Obama's lack of leadership has led to a general state of confusion, chaos, dismay, where countries are now falling into mobocracy, where there is no sense of order or sense of control. And this does not bode well for the world economy. Now, if Iran follows through on their threat to blockade the Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf, the world's oil supply will cut off by 1/5. That's a 20% reduction in oil shipments and exports. That's huge. We don't want to trigger a crisis like that. Let's get back to the negotiating table with Iran. Let's start working out some sort of nuclear non-proliferation agreement. And let's stop this ridiculous saber-rattling that Barack Obama is doing. Plus, engaging in war is a costly endeavor. Our country needs to make some serious decisions about what we're doing. You know, in 1946, Harry S. Truman had a containment policy where we would be containing populated areas and protecting them that we were currently involved in, like Guam, or perhaps Japan, or any other nation that we had acquired a certain presence there. Well, that policy is a very good policy, and I want to bring it back. I'd like to see our nation protect the populated regions in Afghanistan and in Iraq, to maintain a small contingency of troops in these regions. Now, Barack Obama wants to win an election, so he's giving the left this evacuation of troops from Iraq. If we pull all our troops out, which he currently is doing, we are leaving a vacuum. Prime Minister Maliki has suggested that we shouldn't leave. He wants us to stay because he's having a huge potential insurrection from within, from the Sunnis. He's after his vice president, looking for them right now. The idea of the Sunnis uprising is very real in Iraq. Now, a civil war could ensue, and Barack Obama and his move to pull all the troops out could very well create an even bigger problem for America. Because not only do we lose a position that we had there, but we also lose the ability to make money with Iraq. You know, brokering a deal for some jets with Iraq is not making money with Iraq. They've got oil, lots of it. And both the two parties have been complicit in not improving the oil wells north of Baghdad. Those oil wells could be modernized and can produce much more oil than they currently are doing. Our foreign policy has been all about protecting Saudi Arabian interests instead of thinking about our own future and our own energy independence. If we were to put a little bit more effort into Iraq, we could save the $806 billion worth of infrastructure we built there instead of abandoning it, shuttering it up, and leaving. Nearly 700 bases are closed down, and they're going to be looted. They're going to be pillaged. This is what happens when a president who doesn't know what he's doing leads a nation. The entire global economy is shrinking. So what our nation is pretending to do is keep up its barometers, like the Dow Jones average, maintaining input into the investment field. You know, trading is down, but they continue to prop up the Dow by adding more money and offering money at low interest. The Federal Reserve is the culprit. They simply believe that by infusing money into our system, we're going to somehow apply it toward investments and production and workers, when in fact that's not the case at all. What is going on is there is a liquidity trap forming all over the place. Banks are taking the money at low interest and sitting on it and borrowing against it. They aren't investing it in workers and in new products and in new development. We are seeing a general stagnation or stagflation in our economy. The average American is at the bottom of their pockets, reaching deep. And this problem is serious. Now, what we've done at America's Third Party, we've written a book. Introducing hybrid capitalism, making the government accountable, getting a return on investment, and saving you tax dollars. Let's end the Fed, end the reckless printing of money, and save our nation from an economic collapse. At the core, our homestead renewal plan will not only save houses and improve neighborhoods and improve real estate value, but also give people shovel-ready jobs, which I know many of you have been waiting for some time. Anybody can paint walls and do landscaping. We think that that job will be a good way for all of us to get started earning income again. Now, what does this mean for America when I publish a book? Well, it means that your future president is looking at every new way in which our country can start getting back on its feet. We can start getting our trading position, corralling it from foreign interests that have taken over our nation internally. We're going to see our nation become more strong and become more of a protectionist nation, where we guard our borders, bring our troops home, and stimulate the economy that we rely on, our service economy. Now, all of these things will create an opportunity for you to get a job, to get a low-cost education. From 6 weeks to 6 months, you'll have a certification that'll get you work in the marketplace. We're going to partner with private enterprise so that we can offer jobs directly out of the local community colleges. These are the things that matter to America, and I'm pretty much sitting on your pulse. I know where you're coming from because I am one of you. I'm an average man who believes that the President of the United States that will lead this country has to come from average people, has to be one of you to understand the situation. I'm not wealthy. I don't have millions of dollars like all the other candidates do. I have the ability to come up with new ideas on my feet, and I can do that instantly in any situation. I have the ability to command respect and to get everyone to reach the highest state of their own potential. If we cannot motivate our nation, and Barack Obama has proven that in 3 years he hasn't motivated our nation, then we are going to be seeing harder times. We need a new president that can do a top-down restoration of honesty and decency and accountability in our government. What I want to see is 50% reduction in waste in our budget. I want to see major cuts in federal salaries. Yet I want to see more federal workers working for $35,000 a year as opposed to $150,000 a year. All of this and more is coming. So stay tuned to America's Third Party and visit us every weeknight at our blog TV show where we talk about issues that are important to you. And if you've got new ideas that you'd like to integrate into what America's Third Party's platform is, I'm open to your questions and your answers. So please join us and join this online revolution that's happening right now in America.
Check us out at americasthirdparty.com.
ATP, you and me.